VHS 2 is a 2013 horror anthology movie to the unexpected success of the first VHS movie. So in VHS 2, the plot is basically the same plot of the first movie. Instead of burglars, we got crime investigators. Obviously, they played the VHS tape. VHS 2 is not as scary as the first VHS movie. However, this movie feels much more sense, more complete, more intense, more gory, more funnier than the first VHS movie. And this will make this movie better than the first movie. I mean, by more complete, I mean some of the stories actually explain what happens at the end, but that's what I had a problem with the first movie. They don't really explain what happened, or it just don't really end properly. Luckily, these stories in this movie end properly. The first story is about this guy getting this thing in his eye, and he starts to see like a lot of supernatural stuff. The second story is about this guy on a bike trip with a GoPro camera getting bit by a zombie and turned into a zombie, and you can see his point of view as a zombie. I actually really like that story. It's actually my second favorite story in this movie. I don't know what place it is as my favorite story in the franchise in general. The third story is actually my personal favorite, where this guy goes to this religious cult and stuff goes down. That's all I'm gonna say. And this story is right there with the succubus story and the Halloween story from the first movie. That's how great that story was. That story is my least favorite, where these teenagers having a slumber party and they get invaded by aliens. I mean, I don't hate the story. It just, in my opinion, it feels more out of place. And it feels like an episode from the Twilight Zone. Those are all the stories for VHS 2. Like I said before, guys, this movie is not as scary as the first movie, but it is somewhat better. So my opinion on this movie kind of weird. Stories in this movie make more sense than the first movie was, but the stories are not that scary or disturbing as the stories in the first movie, except for that third story. When I watch a movie, I want the movie to be more complete. I don't want to be like, oh, it's finished, done, just like the first movie was. This movie actually felt more complete. It felt more finished. It felt more well done. It felt more like a movie instead of the first movie felt more like Paranormal Activity type of film. But this movie was a huge improvement over the first movie. That's why I like this movie better than the first movie. Don't have to be scary, even though the first movie was really scary. But I really like VHS. And in my opinion, VHS is one of those horror movie franchises that is right up there with Child's Play, Halloween, Scream, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Saw, Paranormal Activity, if you could say that. I'm really liking this VHS franchise so far. But with that said, I will give VHS 2 a B. It's not as scary as the first movie, but it is better and more complete than the first movie was. Now, all you people that are watching, what do you think of the VHS franchise? And do you think VHS 1 is better than 2? Or do you like 2 better than 1? Do you think VHS 3 will be good? Or do you think it will be terrible, like Chris Nuckman said? But anyways, give me your thoughts in the comment down below. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.